Hey, good morning. I'm Kristen. I am a holistic nutritionist and the owner of Whole Family Health Food. And I am here with the amazing Christina, also a holistic nutritionist. And we're going to have an amazing chat today about some really important stuff. And I think, especially in light of the current climate and what we've all been dealing with for the last 12 straight months, it's crazy to think that we have, you know, done an entire 365 spin around the globe in this current worldwide health situation that we're all dealing with. So, Chris, I would love it if you could just introduce yourself a little bit so that everyone in the community can get to know who you are a little bit better, and then we'll jump in and start to share some info that I think everyone will find really valuable.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. I'm Christina Bradbury. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist with CanPrev Natural Health. I've been a nutritionist for over 12 years. A mom of three young kiddos, and I'm very excited to be here today with Kristen and her amazing community to dive into a little bit more info on health and wellness.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, I'm really excited about what we're going to chat about today because uh, the biggest thing that I saw, this time last year was people coming into the store and saying, "Hey, what have you got for me for my immune system? Like, we're in this worldwide health crisis. I want to make sure that I stay healthy, my family stays healthy." And so the conversation was really focused around immune system support. Fast forward a year later, and everybody's nervous system is fried. Like, after a year of uncertainty and ups and downs and openings and closings and just the whole thing, um, everyone's stress level is like 10 out of 10, and the nervous system is really feeling this experience. So, the stress, the anxiety, the overwhelm is really heightened. And so, I wanted to just share some resources with people around some really simple things that they can start to do to comfort and soothe the nervous system. And I know for myself, one of the biggest tools that has been useful to keep me out of burnout. And it's so simple and foundational, but it's been just religiously relying on a B complex. So when I say that, sometimes people kind of look at me because on the shelf, there's all the different Bs that are broken out singly. B12 is the one that we get tested for by our doctor all the time. What's the difference between like taking a B12 or taking a B complex? Like, what does that actually mean?
That's a great question. A B complex, we have this sort of grouping of 8 B vitamins in a B vitamin family. And when, in nature and in food, they're normally found together because they work synergistically, right? B vitamins sort of utilize each other in the body to get their work done. So when we look at a B complex, when someone walks into your store and they see a B complex, just what that means is that grouping of 8 different B vitamins is found within that complex. So if you need B vitamins for the multitude of different reasons that you'd be using it for, I mean, you talked about a really important one right now: stress, anxiety, the nervous system highly depends on B vitamins. But many other functions in the body also do, like hormonal health and good cholesterol, muscle health, lots of different things that we use B vitamins for. But when you're looking at maybe you have a pretty plentiful diet, and you're getting a multitude of B vitamins kind of in a variety, but you're still feeling like that additional fatigue or your iron is low. That's where B12 kind of comes in. B12 is one of those B vitamins that's sort of known as that energy vitamin or the anti fatigue B vitamin. So a lot of people will gravitate to B12 because that's something we're all really feeling, right? You're like exhausted, especially when you have that burnout that you were talking about. You just get tired. You're really tired, and you wake up tired. And so a B complex is a great place to start, especially if you're taking it for wellness, you're taking it for overall stress. B12 is also something you could add in additionally to a B complex. There's absolutely nothing wrong with taking a B complex and extra B12 on the side. It will help with iron uptake and red blood cells. It will help with energy and focus. So if you feel like your diet is great, you have everything you need, you're just maybe a little tired, you could supplement with only a B12 on their own. But my first go-to is always a complex. I always prefer get the grouping of the Bs together, start with that, get everything synergistically moving together and working in the body. And then after, a month or two, if you feel like you could use a little energy boost, you can always try adding a B12 on the side of that. So, I mean, they do really complement each other really well.
Okay, awesome. That's super helpful. Yeah, I'm with you. My instinct is always to go with the complex just as the foundation and build from there. Add in and build whatever other protocols that you want to build on top of that. But without all those Bs kind of on board, it's really hard, right? It's like building a house on sand. It's hard to
Yes.
get traction when you're starting to layer on other things. So that's cool. When I think about my B section in the store, there's definitely a price difference, right? When you kind of scan along the shelf, there can be some complexes that are, I guess, more value-based, shall we say, in their price offering, and others that you'll see, they're both called B complexes, but the price kind of jumps up. My perspective has always been what I have learned about supplements has always been that the price is very often in this industry reflective of the quality of the product that you're getting. And so the price difference means benefit difference. But maybe you can just help from a manufacturing side of things, shed a little bit more light on the differences between the inactive versus the active, and how that it would impact price at the shelf.
Yeah, I mean, the inactive, like you said, inactive versus active is one of the main conversations as a nutritionist that, I like to have with people when looking at supplements. And essentially what that means, and when we're focusing in on B vitamins, is yes, you will see a price difference within specific quality brands or specific forms of vitamins. And that's because vitamins don't just come in one form. You can get vitamins in the nutraceutical industry. You can get vitamins in multiple different forms. And when we talk about an activated form of a vitamin, that means that it's readily bioavailable for the body. So when you're purchasing an activated form of a vitamin and you take that into your body, your absorption is quicker, the digestion of the product is quicker, it's going to be processed in the liver and the body much quicker and enter and do its job. That's just the form. And so when we talk about these, for example, B12, methylcobalamin. That's an activated B12. So when you're buying a B12, you absolutely want to be buying a methylcobalamin. Might be a little bit more expensive than its counterpart, cyanocobalamin, which is an inactive B12. And so the issues with inactive is, yes, they are cheaper, but you're not going to get that quality of availability and absorption in the body. They will take much longer. They need to be sent into the liver for processing and breakdown. And so when you look at the reasons as to why we're taking a B vitamin, right? Like we're stressed. Maybe we have digestive difficulties. If you have Crohn's colitis, IBS, or something like that, and you really need to make sure you're getting additional B vitamins. If you're already having concerns breaking down your supplements, and then you're reaching for inactive forms of supplements, your body's not likely to break those down and absorb and assimilate them as well as a bioavailable form. So you might just urinate those all out. Like you might not even be absorbing anything. So you could be taking an inactive complex of B vitamins. Yes, it's cheaper, but at the end of the day, you're from a value standpoint, you're not actually getting anything from that vitamin, or maybe getting very minimal. So I absolutely recommend activated forms of Bs. They're just going to work better, be absorbed better in the body. Yes, you might have to splurge a couple of extra dollars, but the benefit that your body is going to get from them is much better than some of those cheaper forms.
Awesome. Thank you. And you said something that actually triggered another question that I get asked a lot, which is around the color of your pee when you start taking B vitamins. It's really funny because, it's one of those things I take for granted as someone who just kind of lives in this world. But I've had customers that if I don't give them the heads up, they will stop taking their Bs because it freaks them out that, all of a sudden they start taking their Bs and their urine turns bright yellow. Or they'll take much less than the recommended dose on the bottle because they're nervous that they're doing some harm to their bodies. So can you enlighten us? What's the deal with the bright yellow pee when you start taking B vitamins or even a multi that's rich in B vitamins?
Well, let me first address the fact about, you saying that people are getting nervous about taking, too much. B vitamins are water soluble, right? So whatever our body doesn't utilize will be excreted in our urine. So we don't have to worry. It's not like a fat soluble vitamin that's going to stay in our body and that we could potentially, become toxic in. That's not going to happen with B vitamins, unless, you're really overdosing on certain things. Not, you never want to do that with any vitamin, but if you're taking the recommended dose, which is usually 2 or 3 capsules a day, depending on the brand, you're getting like the optimal form of Bs and the right amount for your body. Now, the urine and the vibrant color, this is completely normal. It doesn't mean that you're peeing out all of the vitamins. Especially in B vitamins, there's one particular one, vitamin B2, riboflavin. This particular B vitamin, when it hits light, there is this really bright fluorescent glow to it, right? And so we've all been there. We've all taken a multi or a B, and you go to the washroom and you're like, okay, that's a little different, but that's totally normal. And again, it doesn't mean that you're passing it all through the body, but little traces of those B vitamins might not be utilized. Your body takes what it needs, and then whatever else it doesn't need gets expelled. So when you're doing that and you see maybe I shouldn't be taking any more Bs or vitamins because I'm just peeing it out, you don't want to look at it that way because your body is taking everything that it needs, excreting the little amounts that you don't need, and then you're in a good place. So totally normal. Don't worry about that. You're going to see that on any multi and B vitamin that you take, and you're good. Everything's good.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure there are a lot of people that are relieved to know that, because for everyone who asks me about their pee, there's probably like 3 people who are too embarrassed to say anything. So
Oh, absolutely. I've had that with my kids, when I start sneaking in, we sneak in multivitamins in their smoothies. And I remember when they were old enough to like really understand it, they go to the washroom and they're like, Mom, what's going on? I'm like, guys, don't worry. It's just part of your smoothie. It's your multi. And, it's okay to talk about. And it's definitely normal.
amazing, amazing. So my, you know, obviously having access to lots of different products in my position, I've tried a whole bunch of different multis and Bs. My absolute favorite is the Synergy B, and that is just because they're fully activated. All of the Bs are in their activated forms. So of all of the different activated brands that I've tried, I really feel the most significant benefit from the Synergy B. That's just working for my physiology. And as most people who've like hung out here with me for more than about 5 minutes know, I'm a big fan of L-theanine, like a big fan of L-theanine. And you guys put that into your B complex capsule. So as much as I love that combination, some people they kind of question, well, why would you stick that in? So can you just share with us a little bit about CamPrep's philosophy with filling up capsules?
Absolutely. So when we're looking at a product like the Synergy B, as you mentioned, you do have all those activated B vitamins. And so we know the B vitamins are going to support our nervous system, energy, hormones, all those things that we're talking about. If we're drinking, excessive coffee, alcohol, if you're on birth control, if you're ever on antibiotics, you want to replenish those Bs. And so the Synergy B offers those activated B vitamins to support that. Now, with B12, sometimes you can really notice the difference quickly, right? You notice that sort of energy boost within the day. Taking a B complex, though, not everybody, some people might notice a little bit of an energy boost throughout the day, but not everybody notices that sort of immediate, work that the B vitamins are doing in their body. And this is where I love Synergy B because now you have this amino acid L-theanine, this Zen amino acid, which I'm 100% with you. It's one of my favorites. I'm constantly talking about it and recommending it. It's quite a safe amino acid and works wonders. So you add in this amino acid L-theanine to this product, which then, if you're taking it for stress and you're taking it for mood, you're going to get that immediate effect. L-theanine kicks into the system within the hour, right? So you're going to notice that sort of calming, good feeling that you get. And so you're taking this B vitamin where normally you might not notice the effects of it from a stress and mood perspective for a little while. But now when you're taking Synergy B, having that immediate L-theanine just sort of like calms the body, right? And so you can take it twice a day. Um, and so it's a really nice combination. And most people who are using bees are taking it for nervous system and mood. Like again, we've talked about there's so many other reasons. But I personally love just having that little extra, support, especially during this time to just sort of, take that, even if you're working out, right? We're taking bees to support our body as we're exercising. We can sweat out a lot of bees. So you definitely want to be taking a bee when you're working out. But for some people, extra exercise might actually cause the body to become a little bit more anxious depending on the type. So adding in that L-theanine, even for that sort of like calming, it's just a really nice combination. I've used that particular product for over 10 years now, on and off, not consistent, but it's always sort of been in my cupboard. And I love it. I hold it very dear to my heart. And I do believe the L-theanine for me makes that difference, is just sort of adding in that extra calm.
Amazing. Yeah, I find, to your point, it's not that I necessarily feel instantly revved up by bees, but I find that my stamina throughout the day, it's more of like a slow burn instead of like a caffeine buzz, where you kind of quickly go up and come down. It's that I just notice my ability to handle, juggling all the balls
Yeah.
all the day, is better. And, my ability to just have that sustained energy is so much better when I'm supplementing with bees. So for anybody watching who's never taken bees before and might be interested after listening to this conversation, if they feel like their nervous system, their stress level, their mental focus could use a little support, what do you suggest for dosing? Like, when's the best time to take it? How's the best way to work it into a schedule?
Some people can take a B vitamin in the evening and not notice any difference, and they're fine. But I certainly recommend taking the B vitamin in the morning. You can take it with breakfast and then taking one in, late afternoon or lunch or dinner. If you're a 9 o'clock dinner kind of person, I would recommend maybe, afternoon snack. But for me personally, I do prefer the bees earlier in the day. I just feel like they do help with sort of that sustained energy throughout the day. And if you have a sensitive constitution, you're just going to avoid having that sort of like buzz or lift in the evening.
Amazing. Okay, well, this has been such a useful conversation. I think that so many people will find something here that will help them, just to give them a little bit of tools and resources right now to help get through this crazy time that we're all dealing with together. And, that's always the name of the game, is to just put one foot in front of the other, keep moving forward with grace. And like I say, I think that the Synergy B product specifically has some really great resources in it, with all of the B complex vitamins, as well as the theanine, my favorite amino acid. I always think about that episode of the Big Bang Theory, where Sheldon was handing out a questionnaire to all his friends to see who knew him the best. And one of the questions was, "What's my favorite amino acid?" And I feel like I could totally hand out that questionnaire. And anyone who got it wrong, like, they cannot be that good of a friend to me, because
No.
I talk about theanine more than normal. Like, a normal person probably shouldn't talk about it that
Bring it
much.
up at dinner parties, at the grocery store. Everyone gets to know about theanine.
Exactly.
That's why we're friends. That's why we're friends.
Exactly. You get me. You get me. So. Awesome. All right. So to anyone watching, I hope you have found this valuable. Chris, thank you so much for your time and your knowledge, as always. And if anybody has follow-up questions, you could always hit us up in the comments, or send us a message to the store, and we'll be happy to either relay your question to Chris and get some CanPrev specific answers for you, or if it's some general supplement stuff, then I am happy to answer from the store here. So thank you again, and we will see everybody, you know, on the next one.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate being here today.
Thanks so much for being here.